Welcome, guys, to my Love Island All-Stars Season 2, Episodes 12, 14, and 15. We're not going to do 16 and 17 today because the Grammys are today. So, thank you guys for joining me and Miss T Joy. How are you, Miss T Joy?
Hi everyone, happy Sunday.
So Miss Joy is not feeling very well today, so we're gonna try to get through these episodes. But also, I know some of our UK fans, y'all are probably watching the episodes right now. If you're not in the UK, just come chat with us if you can about these 3 episodes. So where we left off on what was it, Friday?
Yes.
When we last chat, we left off with Ronnie and Harriet on the, and he basically said it's always been her.
Yes. Yes.
And they're selling us a ship, and I'm
But
buying
we're
it.
buying it. I'm buying it.
I'm buying it. So listen, we're back on the couch, and Ronnie and Harriet are chatting again, and she confronts him because she's like, he's already been acting up in the villa since the last that she could watch from the beginning of the season. She's like, it's like watching his first week is like watching series 11 again. And she just wants to know, like, how are you going to act moving forward?
Exactly. Because she's not gonna do this again. She's not gonna do this again with him.
No. Welcome, Dabu. Welcome. Yeah, and I mean, I don't blame her. Like, there's no reason to go into this situation. It's a new season. No reason to be going into this situation and be doing the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
Like, at all.
Right. And then plus she feels like she's hearing things from the other girls. So she's kind of like trying to, what did you have going on with Elma? What were you telling them about us? Were you saying it was just, like a showman? Like she's just trying to figure out, because she know Ronnie's slick, like, you're not about to play me again. I'm not about to do that. So I'm keeping my options open and I'm gonna do me.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I said this, like, as a fellow Taurus, once you show us something and we see that that's how you're acting, you got to show us something totally different for us to get back on board.
Right.
And I don't blame Harriet. He not only embarrassed her in the villa that they got dumped, he embarrassed her outside the villa.
Absolutely.
And so she's just like, no, like, I'm not doing this again. Especially, it feels like you are willing to continue to do the same thing you did the last time, because you treated Elma and Kaz very similarly. So how do I know that that's not what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So the girls continue listening because they're still downstairs listening under the terrace. And Grace does try to explain to them, no, like, Ronnie is not Harriet's priority, not her main priority anyway. She realized that she spent her last experience running around after Ronnie, and she looked like a fool the last time. So the last time they spoke, though, she said was December. Now, he had told the girls apparently that the last time we spoke was November. So they're like, oh, we didn't know that. And she's like, well, I'll let her explain it. But she doesn't really want to speak to him tonight. She did not come in here for you. And so Ronnie does explain that he will talk to Alma, but he's pursuing Harriet. And Harriet says, well, I think you kind of need some time to process your feelings. Like, you're still moving quick, fast, in a hurry. And he's like, no, I understand, but I'm laying things out to you. I know what I want. I know this feeling, and it's you. So, I mean, I believe him. I didn't not believe him. I don't think he's acting when it comes to his feelings about it.
No, I don't think he's acting.
Yeah. So Kaz asks Elma how she's feeling, and she's saying she's trying not to cry. And Kaz says he does not deserve you. It's obvious he still wants Harriet, and that's why he gave her a 10 in the kissing challenge. And
because
she said,
he knew who it was. So
like what we said the last episode, if he knows who it was, he knows that he still wants her chance. Yes, you need to
He's gonna
give
give her
her
chance.
a chance.
Mhm.
That would have been stupid if he did not.
Right.
So, yeah, like I I can understand people. I don't know if there's a lot of people who are mad at the way Ronnie is moving in this current situation. I am not.
I'm not
I'm not.
either.
I'm
I'm
not.
not
I,
either. He knew Elma like 4 days. Like, calm it down. Why was she in the bed saying, I love you? I did not know that until you told me that because you take such great notes. I'm like, I love you. No, ma'am. She out of order. And I have, no. She going to have to take this one on the chin. Ain't nobody tell her to do that in the
yeah,
bed after 3 days telling somebody I love you.
yeah,
Ma'am, no. You would think she a Pisces. No. What is going on? No. Mm-mm.
yeah. No, like just like knowing where he was coming from. And I kind of said that, didn't I? Did I say this from our first week's episode or this current episode? Um, you decided to go into a relationship with that man after his first season. That's your fault.
Yes, and it was, but you're telling him all of this when it's still early days, when you just saw the incident happen between him and Kaz, when you then had the opportunity with Ron and then you threw him off. Like you're moving like this and you're making this bed that you're lying in, and this man has not closed off to you. He has not told you he just want to focus on you. So why would you be whispering that in bed? I'm very confused.
I don't know. So it's like on top of what, like even if you didn't know, you had to have heard.
Right.
And so
But
like,
she knew because she had been worried about Harriet coming in since the beginning. She knew
which
that.
is why I can't give her too much grace, because my whole thing is you knew how he was, you knew what he was doing. So it's
Mhm.
like I gotta put some of the onus on you for investing in this relationship in this way. I
Exactly.
can't put it all on Ronnie.
Because your gut, something in her gut said to be worried about Harriet. Harriet was not even there, but something in her gut was like, what if Harriet come in here? He still probably hung up on Harriet. You were telling Catherine and other people this, and Harriet was not there, which meant that you knew in the back of your mind. So again, and you still went straight in, straight in. You gave him a red flag. Didn't she give him a red flag in the red flag challenge? And then you still went straight in? Who did she give her a red flag to?
I think she gave it to Marcel because he cheated.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Hi KB, welcome back, welcome back. KB says, now you see why I call her Elmo. Big Bird. Listen, leave her Big Bird.
You crazy.
Big Bird is 2 and Elmo is 5. There's no reason. No reason.
You crazy.
At least give the poor Muppet some grace for their age. There's no reason why she should be acting like this at her big age.
I know.
And so, you know, I get being emotional because you thought maybe there was something there and you didn't see. Like, okay, she was slightly blindsided with Harriet coming in. I get it. I understand it. I feel it. But, babe,
Babe.
you did this to yourself.
Babe.
You did this to yourself. I can't even give it to you. I can't even be on your side.
Right.
So it's like listening to her, like a lot of these next couple episodes that we're gonna go through, I'm just like, I feel like, oh, like you're doing too much. And I hate to say that because I don't want to give Ronnie too much, because I do feel like, I think my only thing with Ronnie is while he was honest, he also kind of should have just deaded it. He should have just turned to her. Kind of, who is it? Like, you know how we were like with Cordell when he walked into the villa with Dea, and then he looks at Serena and realizes that it was her the entire time, and that he didn't want Dea anymore. And we're always like, our only fault with him is that he should have turned today at that moment and been like, yeah, so we're not going to work out because I want her.
Right.
That's what I think Ronnie should have done after the kissing challenge. He should have been like, yeah, so Harriet is here, so that like
I mean, yes, he should have had a formal conversation with her saying that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe the producers might have prevented him from that. But his
right.
actions told her. His actions
Ooh,
told her from that
absolutely.
moment forward that it was because he hid nothing about chatting to her, taking her on the terrace. He
No,
wasn't trying to sneak. He wasn't trying to be, like sly. He wasn't mincing his words. He was telling the guys, he was telling the girls, it's her, it's coming back. Like, so yes, I fought him for not having that conversation with Elma, but he
yes,
never hid any of his moves. So
no,
Elma had a front row seat to what was going on. And so
yes, yeah. Like at this point, it's some of it's on her.
yeah, absolutely.
And I get that she feels played, and maybe she thinks that she was a placeholder for the entire thing, but babe, you weren't. He was honest. I need you to like understand that's what was happening here, and you weren't played. You just were not the one, right? The one came in, and the one was Harriet. So,
Yeah.
KB points out that yes, this was dropping the L bomb after a week and a half. At her big age, I expect more. KB says my Rogaine Ronnie was too busy trying to reduce his stress. Stress increases here. Listen, he needs to stop. He needs to. We saw him without the spray hair. Like he looks so much better. Just go bald, babe. Just go bald. Mary, hey Mary says,
Hi,
I'm
Mary.
another Ronnie girly. Sorry. If I was a Ronnie girly, I don't get you. I don't think, is Chantel into Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean, she likes Ronnie. Remember the first season, like season 11, she was all about Ronnie. She had to be convinced. Like, after a while, we found out he was like a jerk. But at first, initial response, like, it's Ronnie. And then remember Friday when we were talking about like guys based on their, she was like, she was still putting Ronnie ahead of Nas. And you were like, really? And we were like, yeah. So, yeah, Chantel champions for Ronnie when she can. Definitely does.
Yeah.
And so does KB.
And so does KB. KB says we also did see that Elmo was going 0 to 10K. The man was tired. And yes, in this scenario, he was pretty honest about the entire situation. I feel for Elmo as a woman, but I gotta stop saying Elmo because Elma is actually my mother's name.
Elma is?
Yes, my mom. Oh my god. I feel for her as a woman, but she's got to hold this L, and I have to agree. She does need to hold the L. So we do see that. As I said, Cass says she does that. Like he doesn't deserve her. And the way that he gave Harry the 10 is, as we're saying, it was pretty obvious what the situation was. And she says she knows. She does say she knows, but she doesn't seem to be acting about the fact that she knows that that's where things are at. Catherine comes over and the girls try to catch her up, but she's like, wait, Ronnie took her to the terrace? And at that point, Harriet and Ronnie come back down, and Harriet explains to the girls she's not trying to fall back into the same routine, which is what Grace said, right? She reiterates this. And Kat asks, well, how are you feeling? Or how is he feeling? And she said, well, she's not sure how she's feeling because she's the one that ended things because he was playing around too much on the outside. She said, but he says his head is spun. And she's like, so she doesn't know what she's supposed to do, but she doesn't want to like invest in him because that's what she did. She just did.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe if she wasn't coming off of season 11, like we were coming off of season 12, and there was like a longer period in between the break of them, things might be different for Harriet. But like she's just going by what he just showed her.
Exactly. A month ago. Mm-hmm.
So, hi, Dreadful Jeffrey says the eavesdropping is kind of icky. I feel like the eavesdropping was icky here because Harriet it specifically said to them, I need to talk to him. You guys know that they were in a relationship, a complicated relationship. She said to him that to them that she needed to, privately speak to him before that she told them what was going on. So it's like you're circumventing.
Them that
She might
happened.
as well just told y'all. Yeah, she might as well just told y'all then because y'all was gonna each up on the conversation, and then you're crying, getting mad, but then you shouldn't have listened to it, babe. KB said, yeah, there's a situation that's literally new, current, and ongoing. Not enough time between the seasons for them to. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And Jeffrey says it feels a little more like a real life talk than the normal convos that we see on the show, which is also why the eavesdropping felt icky, right? Like it didn't feel like a game thing. It felt more like these two have history on the outside of the show, and they were trying to like maneuver through this situation, and you guys were like eavesdropping on it, which is icky. It's icky. And KB points out that eavesdropping is childish and obsessive and not surprising given how Elma has reacted about everything. I mean, fair as well.
Yeah. She always eavesdrop anybody go on that terrace. She be right there on that lawn chair, like always listening and repeating to everybody else who's sitting there. Oh, they said this, they said that. She does it every time.
Yeah. Yep. So we see that where am I? Cat. So Cat must be pretty good friends with her on the outside, which doesn't surprise me because we know Mimi's really good friends with Harriet. She was also friends with Ronnie. So Kat seems to be very aware of where Harriet and Ronnie left off because Kat explains, well, we know he sent her flowers, roses in December. And she says, they said, what? And she's like, yeah, for Christmas. And Elma said, no, we did not know that.
Elma, like, this news to me? How are we supposed to know?
And so, so then we hear them tell her again. Well, he said y'all were just a showmance. So that's surprising. And she said, well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to take what you guys are saying, and maybe, he was like seeming to mess with three different women. Maybe that is how he felt about us. But we know that that's not what he said.
We do know that. And when she goes and tells him one thing about Ronnie, he gonna clear his name if he ain't say it. Ronnie said, nah, y'all trying to hate on me. You know I'm trying to get back with her. Y'all trying to hate on me. Nah, let's clear this up right now.
Yeah. No, he was pissed. So we'll get to that. But we do see Gabby and Casey chat now about the kissing game. And apparently she must have bit his Scott's lip. And he's upset because Scott must have told him. And she's like, well, obviously I wasn't trying to like do anything sexual with him. He's with Tina, who I like, and I'm with you. And he's like, okay, well, yeah, it's just a game. She's like, you keep saying it's just a game, but then you keep bringing up this stuff to me. And I was like, it's because he doesn't actually like you. Like we saw, I feel like we saw Sammy do very similar things to Jess in season 10.
I'm still pissed they won, and now he back. I'm still pissed about this whole. Don't even.
Yeah.
He would gaslight her. He would gaslight her every day.
That's what
every
it feels like. It feels like gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
Mary says, "Elma, babes, just walk away." That's what I'm saying.
Babes.
Casey is not serious. Go back to Marcel, Gabby.
Don't go back to Marcel, but find somebody new. Casey is not serious. You are right about that, Mary.
Yeah. So next we see Curtis and Ekin finally chat after she sent him away for about the kissing challenge. And again, her issue is his little comments about I never kissed this one and I didn't kiss that one, but I give it 10. And she's like, what is the truth? And she's like, he's like, but then is that why you like went after all the boys and was like kissing them down and stroking them and all that stuff? And she's like, well, one, I wanted to win, and two, like, you were going in on the comments, so I thought it was no big deal. And
But
so
his
they both
comments were not
basically,
serious. She just
I,
likes to exert her authority,
I
and she
know.
doesn't like for any other woman to get attention from the guy she likes other than her. And it was a kissing challenge, and all he said was, "I haven't kissed that person before," which was the truth. Like, what is the problem with that? These people find stuff to fuss about. You find stuff to fuss about, and what you don't understand is that you're trying to create these moments for TV to show that you have dominance, and he'll come crawling back to you and saying you're sorry and all this and that. But what you're doing is, each time you keep bringing up these things, you're putting a nail into the coffin of the situation. Because after a while, somebody gonna walk in, right?
Yeah.
And he gonna get tired of having these little spats with you over nothing, and he gonna be like, you know what, I can set myself free.
Yeah.
I can
And
set
that's
myself
what
free
it
today.
is. It's like you're starting these issues. I don't know if it's to spice things up or just because that's who you are, or you want to exert your authority. I get it, but again, then you can't be upset when he's upset because he doesn't like what you're doing. Um, Dreadful Ruby points out Curtis and Ekin are both silly boobs, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think they're. I think they're. KB saying Ekin is stretching. I think they're both stretching it. I think she's manufacturing it, and he's playing into it. Because my whole thing is, you knew who Ekin was. Either ignore her ass, or play into it in a different way than this.
So do
Because
you believe for him when he says he didn't, like he knew of her, like that she, of like who she portrayed herself to be, but in different aspects, he saw her portraying herself to be someone different. So he felt like he really didn't know her. So he honestly was going in trying to get to know her. Do you believe him when he says, like, listen,
and in
I
the
was
beginning,
honestly trying to get to know
yes.
you and see who you really were. And I just, I'm not
I
trying to argue
do.
with you every day. Like, I'm not trying to do this. Like,
I
I
do
believed him when
believe
he
him.
said it. Like, ma'am, I'm not trying to do this every day.
Yeah,
Like,
I do believe him because I think I said in our week one recap that I feel like Ekin, I've seen her on like 3 or 4 different shows, and she's been 3 or 4 different people, right? Like, I mean, this is not who she was on Traders when we covered it.
right.
She seems a lot more down to earth on Traders, a little more wittier, like actually funny, but not so
Mm-hmm.
pot stirry. Could be again, all of these are edited shows. But then
Mm-hmm.
also I watched clips of her on Big Brother UK and Celeb Big Brother UK, and she was bitchy. So I just, maybe they're all sides to Ekin. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're all sides to Ekin, and we just it's hard. So I can understand Curtis saying, "I'm trying to gauge which Ekin I'm getting today. I'm trying to understand who is Ekin." I'm not necessarily saying I think that Curtis is actually in here to look for a real relationship, but like, which Ekin will the real Ekin please stand up?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I get him
I
saying
do.
that.
I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know. I be believing characters that he want to find somebody. You don't believe. I know you don't believe that he. For some reason, I think Curtis wants to find somebody, and I think that he knows the more he spends time with her, she ain't it. Like, she might be attractive and sexy and have all this, sex appeal, but
Mm-hmm.
to be every day talking to her, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this every day to have to be talking to her. Okay, I could do it every night to be kissing her, but to be talking to her and spend time with her, I can't do this.
I get that. Like, I get some of that but I also don't want to just put the onus on Ekin. Ekin is still Ekin at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Regardless of how many different sides we've seen of Ekin, you knew that was one of her sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe you have a private conversation with her and say, okay, babe, so is this like, which one's the real you? Like, are you acting? Like, which one? Like, I just need to know so that I can know how to move accordingly. Because I actually really like you. I
Right.
just, how are we playing this? How are we playing this? And KB says, no, Ekin was just trying to make make sure Curtis couldn't drag her about all in on the challenge. She took the wind out of his sail. I don't know. Mary says Ekin doesn't want a relationship. She just wants to win again. This is not the way to go about trying to win again.
I agree.
Not at all. KB agrees with me. And Debu points out Ekin's a whole actress. Really, I want her off my TV. Sadly, she will make the final. I hope not. I hope.
I hope not.
And KB points out something that I was going to say. At least Curtis is consistent, to be fair. The thing that I want to say, this Curtis is the same Curtis that we saw season 5 and on Love Island game. So he is consistent. He does this all the time. He's like gusto into it, and then he's like, yeah, so I don't really like your personality. Like, he did it with the girl from, what was it, Norway, Dutch, whatever she was, the Viking girl, and on Love Island Games. He did it with Amy Hart. He does this thing, and then we know that off camera, when he gets like that, he did it tomorrow, he cheats.
Ooh.
Because he doesn't know how to get out of a relationship.
Oh, he cheated on Mara?
Yes.
Okay.
So my whole thing is, KB's right here. Curtis is very consistent, but that's not to say that he's a prize. So I can't even just say, well, it's just on Ekin, because you know what? It ain't just on her. So we do see Montel and Catherine chat, and she asks how he's been, and he says he's good, and she brings up the rumor, and I think we talked about it when we covered season 10, that apparently he had a child before coming into the villa, and that everybody thought that he had a child, and she was like, he's laughing at her, and she's like, don't laugh, it's not funny, I really thought it. She's like, I did some investigating, and we all thought that you had a child. It was in the group chat. And he said, it was my sister's child, was at her baby shower. And she's like, so she does kind of ITM that she does feel like something is still there between them. They didn't get to explore it the first time. He ITMs an agreement that something is still there, that they both rock with each other and wants to see where things go. He's a liar and
a whole liar. And then the thing about it was, I felt so bad because we had not seen Catherine this giddy. Like, she was so happy sitting next to him, talking to him, like rubbing shoulders. And like, remember we talked about how her love language must be physical touch, because she was like trying to be really, really close to him, and she's not getting any physical touch from Nas, you know what I mean? And she was just telling him, and the way she was talking to him, and all of this stuff. And he was like, to be fair, when I came in and in 10, I was trying to go for you, but the whole thing and all this and that. And I thought to myself, he had me fooled. I was like, oh, he like her. Oh yeah, he thinking something could be there, blah, 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 blah. He is a whole liar.
He's a whole liar.
And I hated that for my girl.
I did too. I said to a few people, I did not think that he was going to come in for Catherine. He was saying it in articles, just saying, I'm coming in for Catherine. I'm coming in for Catherine. And I was like, I don't believe him, because if he wanted Catherine, her and Scott were nothing outside the villa. He could have went after. And the way he chose Leah the last time, He
Right.
chose Leah and acted like Catherine and him were nothing, insignificant.
Nothing. 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 And then, oh, wait till we get to it. The way he flips it. Wait till when we get to it. I'm a. Mm.
Um, so Dreadful Ruby points out here, Montel lied to producers to get him, and the producers showed what they think about that real quick. They
Yeah.
use him as an example. Don't do that shit.
Right.
Don't do that, because they could have made sure that another couple came back, but they was like, no, two boys can be dumped. But we're not going to get to that this episode.
Oh, we're not?
No, it's only up to
okay.
15. I think that episode is 16
Oh, okay.
or 17, beginning of 17. Yeah. KB points out Montel used Kat to get back on the show, and I didn't even believe him the last time either. I didn't either. So when he was coming in,
type. He has a type, and as he tells Kat, "You're my type. You're my type." Okay, so she's your type. Ella was your type, so you don't like dark skinned black women. Let's be real. So stop playing with me. Don't do that ever again, and you're never gonna be on the show again, because now you've admitted you have a type, and then you lied to production. You're done with that. We're done. We're done. You're banned. And I've made an executive decision. I don't care if I work there or not. You're banned. I'm gonna tell her you my type. That's my type.
I just, he is such, oh my God. I hated him on season 10, and I like.
You did.
Now we
I'm not
beefing.
even better it out. You hated him then.
No. Now we beefing.
Oh, we
now
beefing forever. Like Cardi B, like forever.
Forever. Don't play my girl like that ever again.
Yeah.
You are black. You do not come on a fucking TV show and play the black girl.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And it's not about him and Cass, because we said, well, maybe I didn't say it here. Again, I don't remember if we said it. Him and even astrologically, Montel and Kaz will be a better match.
Right.
They would. So it's okay. But the thing is, Kaz is not even white. She's a POC. But even still, you have a type.
Right.
Stop trying to use Catherine to get into the villa. I think he did it the last time. I think he did it this time. Stop doing it.
Yeah. You either need to be white, light, or bright. If you're not that, you're not his type. So stop playing with me. And so, like I said, you banned. Like we done with you. It's a done deal.
Mary says Kat is way too pretty for any of this, and Montel is a bug. Come on, send her Ruben, or I'll take Ellen again. Yeah, somebody. So we do see that. Where are we? Dang it. Harry chats to Ron, and he says things are going nicely with Kaz, and things are going slow. Though she pied him, he does admit. And she says, because he asks what she's looking for, and she says, well, she's ready to be settled down. And he says, well, he's a lover boy, and he also wants to be settled down. And I do kind of feel like we saw that in his first season. I don't like the man, but I do have to say I do feel like that's genuine from him. About the only thing genuine about that man. Montel and Kat talk, and he gave her a 10 in the kissing game, and he likes her. He points out he wasn't sure if it was her or the boys, and she says it's the boys, babe. It's the boys. Yeah. And he asks what she looks like, and she says she goes by personality, but he's what she would go for. And we do know, like, I do think like he's witty. He's a little tall, dark, handsome in some respects,
and he has like a calm demeanor. She likes a calm, laid back demeanor.
Yeah, a calm, laid back, witty demeanor, right? Like I think that's her type. And so they're interested in possibly pursuing things. Elma and Ronnie now chat, and he does admit that his feelings came back. And she alludes to feeling lied to because he said the last time they talked it was in November, and she said, "But you sent her flowers in December." Oh my god. And he's like, "Well, that was nothing." And I understand what he's saying. It wasn't anything because at that point Harriet broke up with him. So that was just him sending her flowers because at the end of the day, he was single. He could have done whatever he wanted to. He was talking to other people. He sent Harriet flowers. There was nothing there. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. She broke up with him.
And I think his thing also was they didn't really talk. He sent her flowers and she sent a text message about the flowers, but they didn't really talk. I mean, that's what I was getting from the conversation. He was like, but we didn't really talk. I mean, I sent you flowers. So I think he was meaning like talk. Like in November was the last time they talk.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like somebody like you don't talk to every day and they're like, I'm going to send you something. They send you something and then you don't talk again. And that's what I think happened. Like he just was like, I want to send her something for Christmas. Maybe it was kind of fishing. I could say maybe it was fishing. And it didn't work because either she didn't respond, she didn't take the bait, right? Or she called him and said thank you and kept it moving, as she should.
Right.
I broke up with you for a reason. So it's not a lie because he even said it to Olivia. Like being with somebody and dating somebody and being in a serious relationship, different things. Absolutely different things.
Totally.
And that's what he's always said. KB says, right, I get what Ronnie is saying. For all we know, he sent flowers to every woman he holds value in his life, and she was going to be mad if he sent flowers to his mama too. Mary says, that's why I like Love Island games. I love Love Island US. Would have been a better pool for man for Catherine. I get it, but also the producers need to fix something. Like, I don't know what else they could do. KB says, I think he was fishing more than anything else. And again, overblown issue. I agree. So he he said he needs time to like figure out where he is. And this is where, again, it's kind of like I said with the Cordell situation with Dea. Like he had that second conversation and he knew where he was. And instead of being like, yeah, so it's Serena from I Want Serena Dog, like he said in his ITM, Ronnie is telling us he wants Harriet. And instead of just telling Elma, I want Harriet, he's saying, no, I still got to figure things out. I'm not really sure. And she's pissed because she's like, well, Harriet's not sure what she wants either. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be caught in the middle here because you guys don't know what y'all want. Like, how's that fair to me? Fair. I absolutely agree with Elma here. This is unfair to her. Just, you didn't want her, babe. You didn't want her. Just tell her that. You just tell her.
But you also have the power. She also has the power. And like I tell everybody, you also have the power to remove yourself from situations. You don't always have to wait for somebody to tell you what they want. You can decide what you want. And what I want is not to be in the middle of this.
Come on, therapist. Let them know. Sometimes you need to protect your peace and remove yourself from the situation.
Absolutely.
So we do see that he confronts Harriet that she doesn't want him, and he says, and she says, "Well, they all are telling me you said we were in a showmance." He said, "I never said that." She said, "Who's saying that?" She's like, "All of them." He said, "I didn't say that." And he jumps up.
Ronnie said, y'all like, I'm already struggling over here. I'm already struggling, fighting for my life, trying to get back in. Y'all ain't gonna throw dirt that don't deserve to be there now. I already done enough with the stuff I actually did. I don't need y'all lying on me. Ronnie said, I'm going over here to clear my name right now. Who said it? Who said it? Who said it? And they're like, you said it. And then Ekin gets involved, and you weren't even there, ma'am. It's just what's so
Ekin! Oh, he did it during the red flag game. You weren't even there, bitch.
You weren't there.
You weren't there. Come on now.
And here go Casey. You weren't even there. He like in the background, like you, Ekin, you get out of it. You weren't even there.
And they all have to laugh because it's such bullshit.
And then she's like, I'm gonna take up for my girls. Oh, today, this season, you a girl's girl. Okay, got it. That's what we playing this season.
Today
okay,
you're a girl's girl. Today you're a girl's girl. That's the funny part. So no, like it's beyond obvious that Ekin just loves to stir the pot. And it at this point, again, Miss Pot Stir got her wires crossed because she's talking about part of the show she probably watched and still misconstruing because that is not what we watched. We definitely did not watch that. KB says Ekin was there in spirit. Obviously. Mary says, I wanted Ekin to be a trainer so hard to miss opportunity. She probably would have been a good trainer because she likes to cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And KB says, so mad Ekin out here letting Casey and Luca be the right.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm mad at everybody. Whenever they let Luca be the objectivity of reason and I have to agree with him, I'm mad at everybody. I'm like, nah, you got him over there. Yes.
Can we not say we did?
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
That's terrible. Absolutely terrible that you got me agreeing with Casey and the likes of Casey and Luca in this villa. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Shamed.
So we do see which one? Ronnie agrees with Elma. He needs to sleep outside. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I was like, ooh, okay then. And then we do see Curtis decides after their little tiff that he's going to sleep outside.
Yes, Curtis mad.
And I was like, I'm not sure. But again,
you know what? I think that was a power move because, and I'm gonna tell you why I think that's a power move. Because I think that he knows that Ekin-Su's power is in her flirtatious sexuality, right? So when she gets him in the bed and she starts talking and kissing and stuff, then he just like let whatever go and just get with the program because he's so turned on to her. But when they're just talking and he sees that she doesn't make valid points and his points are more valid, he can get his power back. So I think he wanted to remove her ability to sweep this under the rug by kissing him and stuff. As we'll see in later episodes, he does what she does whenever they're fussing. She tries to kiss him and reintroduce her sexuality to get back on top and exert her power because that's where she feels her power lies. So I thought this was a power move. Like, nah, you ain't gonna be able to do that to me tonight. I'm gonna sleep outside.
I agree. I do feel like it was a power move on his part because she took back what she took back power when he thought he had an upper hand, and then he was like, okay, how can I do this? And then he uses it the next day and said, I just needed space, and for me, I'm like, yeah, okay. But again, we keep saying Curtis is consistent. This is Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a power struggle because he does not know, and I don't like. He seems to attract these power forward women, but he doesn't know what to do with that energy. And then he also doesn't know how to exit stage left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't
And I think that's
know.
why he does. And I think that's why he doesn't get with black women, because I think he's attracted to powerful women, right? Women who know what they want, women who stand in their power, and who he feels like are bosses. Like he's attracted to that. That's why he's attracted to black women. You always notice he'll say he's interested. I want to chat to this, but I think he thinks to himself, I get with these women, and then I don't know how to get out of it, or I feel like I can never get the upper hand. And he is afraid that with a black woman, it'll be like that the whole time. So I think that's why he stands clear, because I think he is very much attracted to the black woman. I think he's being honest when he's like, hey, I want to chat to her. Hey, I want to do that, because it's attractive to him. But he
Yeah,
thinks to himself, when I get in this though, how I'm gonna get out of this?
I'm gonna
How
get
I'm
out of
gonna,
it. I
how I'm
think
gonna maneuver? And he like, I ain't gonna be able to do it with a black woman. I ain't gonna be able to do it. So let me not go there. And he chickens out. I think that's what happens every time. Like,
KB has a good point here. Chris loves them spice, but he really more of a boiled cauliflower kind of guy.
yep,
And
yep,
and someone said, someone better tell Curtis, you play with pepper, you get burned. Period.
yep.
Like you can't continue to play with fiery women.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the balls to handle them.
Nope,
You just
nope,
don't.
nope,
And then you
nope.
cheat or you evade. And babe, that's not the way. It's not the
Exactly,
way.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah. We need Curtis. We
To
get
live in
it.
his truth. We need him
Yeah,
to
we
live in his
get it. Curtis,
truth.
Ekin is a handful. You can't handle her. Let her
Right,
go. But
right,
also, stop this.
right.
Like, Mora, Ekin, like, this is a pattern. Stop this.
Yep.
Stop this. So the next morning, Rodney gives Harriet a coffee, and Elma is.
Whoa, she big time pissed. She was like, he used his friend. Is this what he used Grace to give it to? He used Grace to give it to Harriet, right? Okay, yeah. And she like, he around here. He didn't even have the balls to do it himself. He around here using his friend to get her the coffee. She pissed.
But again,
Exit, exit,
sorry.
exit.
I always say, like, when you see somebody come in, if the game is the game, but the game has to be maneuvered or changed. Unless it's with somebody that you can see on the outside, play the game. But if it's somebody that you can literally see yourself practically marrying, be as genuine as possible. And I think that's what we're seeing Ronnie here do.
Right.
He wants her. She's his priority. He's going to make her a coffee. I fair play to him. Because the whole thing is,
all those feelings came back. All those feelings came back for Ronnie. And Ronnie is trying to do everything he can because he don't want to be in the triangle and it's Harriet and him and another man. That's why he's trying to work extra hard before she builds something with another man, because he know those feelings are back, and he know he put her through that triangle, and he don't want to be in that triangle as one of the options for Harriet, like she was one of the options for him. He like, no. I need to do all this work I can so I can get her, and it could just be me and her. And we could be closed off because I don't want this smoke. I don't want to be no triangle. And it's her and me and another guy. Like he's just like,
And so at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna not roll with him on this one. He's doing it absolutely right.
Yeah.
And again, I also said last episode or last recap, I said Ronnie got to go full force. If he wants her, he best to go full force.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only way she's gonna believe him, and that's the only way he should be doing after what he did to her to get her back.
Absolutely.
So we do see Kaz and Kat basically tell Elma she deserves better, and they also are chatting, and Kaz and Kat both agree they want to chat to Montel and that they're happy to have someone to graft with. And then we see Ekin and Curtis again go over the game and him sleeping outside. And then this is where we see it. Like, it was a power move. It was a power move on his part.
Yep.
I needed space for me in order for me to be good with you. It's like, no, dude, you wanted to have the upper hand here,
Yep.
and she didn't allow you to have the upper hand because she never was going to because she's a baddie. Like, if you can't handle a baddie, stop allowing them to choose you. Stop trying to
Right.
pull them.
Right.
So, Montel and Kat chat and flirt.
No, KB, I don't want to be in the club. I don't want to be in the club.
KB says won't get Rodney in public for the club was up to Miss TJ. She was like, no, I saw season 11. I'm over. No. So they do chat, and he asks her what she thought about the morning, what she thought about waking up that morning, and she says him, and he laughs, and she said, well, what did you think about? He's like, not being in the bed by myself. And she said, yeah, it's kind of hard being with someone where there's no spark. She's like, I've been doing it with Nas, and it's definitely hard. And so Kat ITM said it feels so much better with Montel and somebody she knows, and also somebody that there potentially has, it feels like a second chance with. They liked each other before, so it would be great to explore it this time. This is where Montel pissed me off.
Yes.
You're clearly giving her energy here.
Yes. Yes.
That makes it feel like you're going to choose her. And you were never going to choose her.
Never. He never was going to choose her. That's what I didn't respect. After hearing all the things that he said about Cass after he chose her and he was telling the guys and all that stuff, that's where I was like, now, like you said, we beefing forever because you gave her hope. You gave her this feeling of you were going to choose her and you knew you weren't, and you should have just kept it like that.
Period.
You should have just told her, just period.
Period. That's
you
all.
You could tell she was so crushed on the inside during that thing. I was like, nah, I'm done with him.
Yep. Yep. So we do see also Harriet and Kat chat, and she's like, the switch up is crazy. And she's talking about Ronnie. Mary said, Miss TJ and I are burgers that Ronnie missed don't work on us.
That's right, Mary. That's right, Mary.
And
Harriet work on us.
And Harriet agrees she is over it. Yeah. She doesn't want that experience again. And Kat agrees with her. She should not want that experience again. Right. Like, even putting Elma aside, she's like, this, he can't keep doing this.
Right, exactly.
And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. And so at that point, Elma gets a text, gather around the fire pit. Again, they only had 24 hours to do this, which is also why this pissed me off. Montel and Harriet, it's time to choose to couple up with someone. Harriet goes first. She gives a speech. She basically chooses to not allow her experience from last time to be her experience this time. And she chooses Ron based on the one conversation that they had because she didn't have much.
Because it has to be a Ron. Yep, that's what she chooses.
So she said, it's a short time. This is what she thinks will work. Ronnie is visibly upset. So upset. Montel speech. And this is also why we're beefing.
Because he made it seem in that speech. Oh my goodness. Do you have all the words that he said?
No, I didn't because he pissed me off so much. I could only listen to it like once. His speech literally made it sound like he was going to choose Catherine. This girl is fun. She's flirty. She's sweet. Like, it literally sounded like Catherine. So much so that the entire villa thought it was Catherine. The entire villa thought it was Catherine. That when he says he's still open to explore, but he's choosing this girl because he thinks something could grow from it, he chooses Kaz, and everyone and Kat are visibly upset. Everyone. KB points out it was a smart decision for Harry Absolutely. Montel again was just out here being a whole ass villain. Whole ass villain. So right afterwards, Ronnie storms off. Harriet doesn't understand. She's sitting with Ekin and Curtis. She's like, what's going? I don't understand. I've had this conversation with him. He says we're showmans. I don't understand what Ekin's like, he's in love with you, babe.
babes. Uh-huh.
Ronnie's in love with you. And Curtis is, and she looks at Curtis, and Curtis is like, he's in love with you. He really does. And so Kat, then we see, goes inside the villa with Elma, and she's so upset and she cries. And Elma's like, tells Elma that speech sounded like her, and that's the only reason why she's so upset, because she thought it was her he was talking about. And she's like, it is what it is. She's like, if somebody doesn't want her, she's not going to sit there and go after her. I was like, exactly, as you should not. And so she's just pissed that, she was hopeful at this situation, but obviously, nothing is there. And they both hope that men come in for them.
Yes.
I felt bad, like especially for Kat. That was not it was not nice.
No,
not at all. Ronnie goes to Harriet and basically tells her, "Yeah, it's you." He knows it's her, and he will fight for her. She looks at him very skeptical. She's not buying what he's selling.
I'm fighting for my life with this cold, y'all. Excuse me, I'm fighting.
So episode 14, Kaz and Kat chat, and Kaz says to her, do what she needs to, keep pulling him for chats, and it's just the first recoupling. And she's like, okay, and she just shakes her head. She doesn't really say much. We then see they get ready for the nighttime. Curtis shaves for some reason. Harriet is annoyed at Ronnie.
He messed. Oh, I know. Remember, he messed it up.
Oh, he messed it up.
He had that patch missing, so he was like, I gotta shave it all off because I done messed up, It was gonna look weird. And he was like, I hope she likes, doesn't mind me, when I'm gonna be without hair, because I gotta shave everything off or whatever.
Damn, that sucks, because it would be different if he was someone else, but he's on national TV, so I get it. Like, it makes sense that he would have to shave everything off. If he messed up like one little patch.
Yeah, it was like a patch, like it was like a patch. She was like, they were like,
So we do see that Harriet is annoyed at Ronnie because he downplayed. She feels like he's downplayed Elma, and Elma says, "Well, he's downplayed you." And Harriet is like it's just annoying because he's obsessed with me. And I was like, okay, but also Harriet's back. And so we do see, we do see Ron ask Montel if there's a connection with Catherine, and he says, well, yeah, there's something he still wants to pursue. That's something he still wants to pursue, but he says, yeah, he just still needs to chat to her. And that's like, this is totally different than what he says later to her, because you're still telling everybody and the producers that you're open to Catherine, and then you tell Catherine something totally different, and you're a bitch. Because how dare you?
Exactly.
Elma and Harriet finally chat, and they don't like how Ronnie has moved at all. They both agree it's not either of them. They just feel like he is not moving correctly. And I get that. And while he is being open and honest, he isn't being open and honest enough for them. And I understand. I do. I feel like it makes sense why both of them would feel like they're not getting the truth uh
And
they're
this
not
is why
getting the
Harriet chose
treatment.
somebody else because she like, I'm not gonna do this triangle again. I'm not doing this with him.
And I don't blame her. Like that's the thing. It'd be different if they had a different storyline
Hmm.
on their season, but that was literally their storyline. That was their storyline. So like I don't blame her.
Mm.
So we do see Harriet says, like, listen, um, he has to do better. Oh wait, sorry. There was a conversation between Ron and Ronnie before this, so let me talk about that. So Ron and Ronnie chat, and he says, "Well, congratulations. Um, I know that like she's a great gal. I'm still interested in getting to know her." And Ron is like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not into her that much. It's just, you know, I get it." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Good to know that you're not into her." And he's like, "Because I'm going to go after her." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine. We're just going to see how things go." And Ronnie's like, "Okay." And I was like, "This is such a fucking male conversation."
Yeah, and Luca was there too, right? So Luca was
Yes,
there too.
yes, Luca was
So
there.
yeah, it was the three of them. Yeah, and so I was like,
Why do men do
That's
this?
all Roddy need to hear. He already was going full throttle. Now he gassed to the metal. Like I ain't even got to worry about you then. And so, yeah,
Why do men do that? Why do that?
I don't
Why
know. They
do
keep having all these conversations, and they be like, "Don't tell the girls." And somebody always pillow talking and tell their person, and always get out of hand. But they do. They talk to each other.
so we do see Elma and Harriet now continue the conversation and says that Ronnie has to do better by both of them. But Harry's like, that's on him. While we're at it, I'm concentrating on Ron. As
Yeah,
she should. As she
exactly.
should. Cass comes over and advises Elma to dead this situation with Ronnie. Thank you,
Hmm.
Cass. As you said, protect her peace. She's so upset. Just act yourself out of the situation. You're sitting there mad that like Cass is like, well, he's trying to, have you on the back burner if things don't work out for Harriet. But she's just as much trying to have Ronnie as a thing in case things don't work out with him and Harriet because she wants to stay in the villa. But there's nothing there. So you did it. I thought this
Yeah,
was a good advice from Cass.
yeah. And you were mad at Kaz a couple days ago because she kissed Ronnie, and now she's telling you the dead issue. But anyway.
She's telling you the truth. And so we
Hmm.
do see Elma does take up Cass exactly literal hello pot. We do see Elma takes up Kaz's advice and she does just go over to Ronnie and pulls him and says like, okay, yeah, so this is over. And she's like, she won't let him talk. She's just like, this is over. I'm not being involved in this. Um, Sucks for you, and I just want nothing to do with you. I feel lied to. And he does try. He does try to apologize. He
Try.
says,
She don't want to
"I'm
hear
sorry how things are ending. I did not realize that my feelings were this strong for Harriet. I'm mad. I'm sad that you're getting caught in the middle of it, but it's not really like I'm sorry."
She did not
And
want to hear it. She like, whatever, babes. I don't care. You know.
doesn't believe him. She thinks he
Mm.
lied. Yeah. Like I feel bad because I was like, I don't think he necessarily lied. I don't know if he didn't tell the truth either,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it is what it is. Like, what are you gonna do? It's over. We can't like do
I'm good
anything
with it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, what are you gonna do? Um, what are you gonna do? So at the end of the day, I feel like all of this. was done a little late, but also correctly at this point. Elma needed to X herself out of the situation. Um, Ronnie and Harriet. Harriet should not have chosen Ronnie in this case. Um, and Ronnie needs to fight for Harriet. I think it's no fit.
Right.
Fair and love and war. Mary points out that her issue with Ronnie is that Elma is the one ending it. Let's be real. Ronnie likes the drama and the struggle. That's why I said I agree. I think he should have ended it. I don't understand why he did not. I don't know why he didn't. One second. Shit, the fire alarm is going off in my house.
I thought I heard something. Is everything okay?
I'm gonna have the kids check. All right, they're gonna check and let me know. Okay. And people be cooking and then it triggers. They're very sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. Where is it? So. So we see that Luca, Ronnie and Harriet are chatting again at the same time. As Luca and Grace are chatting. No, not Ronnie. Ron and Harriet are chatting. Hi, Miss Danita. So at the same time, Luca and Grace are chatting. Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead and go upstairs. And then what is it?
Yeah, so Grace and Luca are
chatting because I hated the back and forth that they kept doing with all these conversations because it was like trying to keep track of who was saying what to whom.
Right.
So it's like Ron and Harriet are like, oh, this is good. We're getting to know each other, blah, 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 blah. Luca's talking to Grace and pointing them out, and it's like, yeah, like, Grace is like, I'm worried that Harriet only chose Ron to get back at Ronnie because she's upset at Ronnie. And he's like, well, don't even worry about that because Ronnie isn't even feeling Harriet like that. And he hasn't told her. And Grace is like, what?
But Luca tells Grace, you can't say anything. You're not supposed to say nothing. He don't want her to say nothing.
And he's like, I don't want you to say anything. And she's like, well, that's his loss. Like, Harriet's amazing. What's wrong with him?
Right.
So yeah, it was highly like annoying with all the back and forth because you're trying to keep like what is going on here? Like, why is all of this happening at once? So then we see Montel and Cass chat, and he's really happy with his decision. He had to choose for him. I said, oh, so you didn't choose what you wanted.
Right.
So why are you telling people that you still want to get to know Catherine? You want Cass.
Yeah, he telling Cass, I knew I couldn't leave this opportunity. Like, I had to jump on this. I've been wanting to talk to you. Blah, blah, blah. Like, he said all this stuff to her. None of this stuff which he told to the producers and he said to Catherine or anything else. So,
Fraudulent.
Yeah.
So we do see that Harriet pulls Ronnie to the terrace to again have a conversation with him because she doesn't understand all the ire. She had to choose for her, and that was what that was about. She's not putting her energy into him, and if he wants her, he's got to figure that shit out. That's basically.
Like, I will. He like, I will. I will. You can see.
Yeah. So at the same time, because again, they're going back and forth. Luca confronts Ronnie about not feeling Harriet, and he needs to tell her before someone gets hurt, which fair on Luca, it is correct. Like, if there's never going to be anything, tell the girl. Like, like, thank you for choosing me. I'm not the I didn't realize that we had anything, so I'm not really interested. And again, I hate to bring up season 6 of US, but again, this was the whole like Liv and Rob situation that happened where Liv
Mm,
chose Rob off of nothing and she wasn't really like understanding his cues that he was not into her. And then at the end of the day, he decided that he was going to go back to Leah
right,
and he really didn't talk to her. So instead
right.
of Ron just saying, I know we had a good conversation, I thought that too, but I didn't really see any chemistry. I really wasn't into it. But we can try to understand that you weren't choosing Ronnie for you, right?
Mm,
And so it was like all this back and forth. So then we go back, and Harriet is saying to Ronnie, um, "It's really funny way of showing me that you're into the because you've been going back and forth choosing other girls this entire time, and then when I did the situation, you all of a sudden now want me, and I'm
mm-hmm,
not seeing it." And he reiterates, "No, it's you for me, this is it."
right.
And yes, KB, Luca being the voice of reason was not on my 2025 bingo
And
card.
I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of it because I don't want to agree with him. Tired of it.
Yeah, pretty much. um so we do see that then Catherine and Montel finally chat, and she says, "I'm upset with you." And he's like, "Oh, why?" I hate I, I hate
He
when
knew
men do
why.
that.
Don't act dumb. Don't pile on the reasons for me to be upset. Like you gonna insult me on top of everything. Like you knew why I was upset. He knew that he led that girl on to believe that he was going to choose her. He knew what he was saying in his speech led her to think that he was going to choose her. And now he's talking about why are you upset with me? Like,
I don't know why I don't like. You went around to everybody and their mother and told them that she was what you were coming in there for. And then you chose somebody surprisingly different. Fault.
yeah.
So she said that speech sounded like her. And yeah, I can see why you would say that. And so he said, "Well, I was just thinking about it. But if it was going to happen, it would have happened on the outside."
But that's not what you were saying yesterday.
That's
That
not
is
what he
not
was
what you were
saying
saying
20
yesterday.
minutes ago
Thank you. It's just
for the
so crazy.
boys.
Pratel, yes.
So, yeah, I'm over the entire thing. I was so
Me too.
over it. I wanted to like throttle him.
Yeah.
I said, "What a waste bin." Absolutely, Danita.
Yeah.
What a waste bin. Like that perfectly captures the bullshit that Montel tried to feed into the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary says he couldn't have said that because of her personality, because she already knew her. Because uh, listen, so we do see that Scott and Tina chat. It's like, oh, they're still here. I forgot about that. I did. No, I'm not lying. And so Scott and Tina chat, and they feel like they're going at a good pace and everything's okay. And I was like, that tells me that everything is not okay, because we haven't seen you all day, and all of a sudden you are, um, you're talking about how everything is okay. So yeah. So we do see that Harriet sits down with Grace and Luca, um, and they are acting weird. And so she pulls Grace, and then she tells her the truth. even though she told Luca not to, even though
That she
Luca
wouldn't.
told, yeah. And Grace said ultimately she did the right thing. Harriet said, yeah, that was for um,
For me, that was
me, not either of them.
right.
And I love that she said that. I love that she said, I didn't do that for Ronnie. I did not do that for Ron. I did
For
that
Ron.
for me.
Yep.
Right? That was something I needed to do in here for me. Yeah, so again, like that's the part that they're not getting, that regardless of how Ron, which is why he should have just been honest with her, like I don't see anything, but I get it. Like if you want me to be here for you as a friend, like I get it. You had to do that for you. That was your
Mhm.
journey. That was how you needed to start your journey. Jessica points out about Montel. He knew that Catherine's journey had been rough and still decided to play games. Just shut it off from the bag. And I think he did all of this for revenge for her getting with Scott in their OG season. I agree. I think he did all of that to get back at her for choosing Scott instead of choosing him. Yeah,
Well, I also think he has a type, and he never wanted to get with her in the first place.
that too. That too. Um, so we just see Ronnie chats with Kaz and Montel, and he tells them he's in love with Harriet. Now, did you believe this?
I do. I mean, I think I don't know if it's like my version of being in love, but I think that he feels that way. Yeah, I do.
I do too. I do too. I do too. I believed him.
Yeah,
See, I was like,
he sold me on it.
it doesn't take me much to sell me this dream. Just sell
Yeah,
me the
he sold
dream,
me.
guys. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Too.
About halfway through episode 14. Gonna be finishing up soon because we have the Grammys to watch. Rachel agrees. Monteith was nasty for what he did. It was so unnecessary.
So
So
unnecessary.
unnecessary. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Wow. Yeah. So we do see that the next day Scott confesses he's not interested in rushing to Tina. He doesn't want her. He doesn't necessarily need to be with her like he thought he would. It's like, okay, Scott, so you're wasting her time and ours.
I think Scott, no, I really think that Scott just overthinks everything. I really think that he overthinks things. And I'm just going to say this. I don't know his story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not formally diagnosing him,
Mm-hmm.
I do that because that is my profession. But I just think that sometimes when people go through recovery,
Mm-hmm.
they become so introspective with themselves, trying to figure out what the triggers are that makes them, use substances and all of those things. And I think as a result of that, and him probably going through therapy and having substance abuse counseling and all this stuff, that he just kind of overthinks everything. And I think that he was like, oh, this feels good, but I really don't like her. You know how you're like, I'm sitting here chilling and I'm looking around and everybody's laughing and joking and everybody seems like they're really happy in their couple. And I'm just here going with the flow. I don't really like this girl. Like,
No.
and I think that's just kind of what it is. And he was sharing it. He was saying it out loud to people that he thought he could trust. Because he
Yes.
never said, I don't like her. I don't want to be
No, no,
around
no.
her.
It
He
wasn't
never said, I wanted
malicious.
to pick somebody else. He
Yeah.
never said any of that. He was just like, it's something missing. I can't put my finger on it. I don't think she really fit, because I can't see. And I just think they blew it all out and the way they said it to her and she all emotional. And it just became this whole thing that it did not have to be. It did not
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. So I just, it was so like it gets blown out of proportion, but I have to say I do feel like Scott is now at this point, he needs to, you're 36 years old, you need to figure out what you want. You have not dated in 10 years. And I
Absolutely.
agree with Miss T Joy. Things that we do in substance crisis does not mean that we are not that person outside of substance crisis. And
Right.
if you don't address those ideologies, those individual traits, you won't get over them.
No.
You just won't.
Nope.
And I'm not a therapist, but I'm just saying, just I'm observant and
Right.
analytical.
Right. No, no, you cooking. I'm letting you
Yeah.
cook.
And so if you don't take the time to get to know you, and I'm saying this as somebody who I took the time after my divorce and separation to get to know me, what I wanted, who I wanted, what I needed.
Absolutely.
And so that I could, this is also how you help, like, move on to a healthier relationship, not
Mm-hmm.
only for you but for your next partner. So now I'm a little more whole because I get what I need, and I probably put up too much boundaries, but now I can put up boundaries like, okay, I understand now this is a line for me, and I can't let it
Absolutely.
go on too long without
Absolutely.
addressing it, because then I am making myself unwell in a relationship. And whatever that is, it could not mean the same thing for me as it means for Miss T Joy, right?
Right. Right.
But that is what you need to do. I don't think for Scott, this Love Island experience is the way to address that. Not like I said with Marcel, I think that this was a good experience for him because it broke that little, sometimes it's hard when you are like separated or divorced to get yourself out there and test the waters and all that stuff, because you just don't know, right? You have all these things in your head. You're thinking about your child. You're thinking about, will you get hurt again? Like, can you even do this? Are you too old? Or, are you too, some parts of you not there still, right?
Healed. Not healed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for Marcel, I think this was a good experience. For Scott, I don't think this is a healthy experience for him.
It's not that it's not a healthy experience for him. It's just that he's not going to find the one in this experience because he has experienced this. He has to be able to relate with this person outside of a bubble. He
Yeah.
has to know that in certain situations he can be around her. She won't trigger him. She's not an excessive partier. She won't drink more. She won't do this. She won't expose him to this. He can deal with this. They can problem solve. They can in different environments with his family and all that stuff. So he's never going to know that. So he's not going to fall in love. He's not going to meet the one
He's
in this
going to put up
experience.
the boundary because he
Right.
can't,
Right.
he
So he's
doesn't,
not
he
going to meet
can
the one.
address all of that, the
Right.
overthinking of it. Got it. That, which is
Right.
why we
Right.
saw him was like with Ekin, he's like, no, not you.
Right.
No, not
He knew
you.
right away. Right. Right. Right
Yeah.
away. Right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And KB's point out, in many ways, you relearn yourself and assess what your needs are, wants, drives. Absolutely. And no, this is not the best space for what he's looking for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So we do see that. Oh, sorry, I scrolled too far. We do see that Harriet sits with Grace and Luca. No, we did that. Oh my God, I scrolled. I hate when I do this. Kaz tells Harriet that Ronnie is in love with her, and
Yeah.
she's
So this
kind of
is another
shocked.
person telling her. Yeah.
Yeah. She did not realize that, and I understand as a person who I'm a very much, I say, what's my motto? Show and prove.
Mm-hmm.
Words mean shit to me. I've heard people tell me how gorgeous I am, how stunning I am, how beautiful, how they're going to do this, how they're going to do that. Show me. Prove it to me. Give it to me.
Show me.
Yes. Otherwise, I don't want it. I don't care. You can say it to me until you're blue in the face. I'm never going to believe it. Thank you. And KB saying it right now. You have to show it to us. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is where Ronnie needs to understand that's where Harriet is at. Like she's not going to believe him until he shows her differently. Because what he has already shown her, it was disrespect, and she's just like, I don't want it no more. I'm over. And so Harriet then talks to Ron and tells him, like, I've gotten from people.
Right.
I'm not sure why you couldn't tell me this because
Hello.
it wasn't
One
that
that deep.
serious.
Hmm.
Um, that you're not into this, and I wish you had said that during our conversation the night before. But
Exactly.
understand that me picking you was based off. I had a short time, as I said in our recoupling speech, and we had a nice conversation. I thought you were a nice guy, and I wanted to just get to know you. But if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. But that wasn't about me picking you for you or about you. That was for me.
Exactly.
I wanted to do things differently this time. Understand that. He's like, no, no, I get it. I understand. She's like, so all I'm saying is you could have told me that you weren't into this. That's all I'm saying. So it's
And I
good.
don't even think that that was Ron's true feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he already was beefing with Ronnie over the Elma situation when he came in and tried to have a conversation with Elma. Now Ronnie's sitting up here talking about he in love with Harriet. So now if she don't pick me, now me and you gonna have another problem. And I think he said that in front of Luca and to Ronnie to kind of diffuse, like, oh, I'm not even that into her. Like we just got coupled up. I didn't even know. But I don't think that he was opposed to getting to know her. I think he just tried to diffuse the situation real quick with
I can
between
see
him
that.
and Ronnie, because Ronnie on the warpath. Like, so it's like
I
I
can
don't
see
even
that.
think
I
he
can
was
see that.
pushing.
I can see that. The boys have been trying to like keep things copacetic in
Mm-hmm.
the situation, and so uh I can see how that would be something you're like, oh, I don't want to do all this. I don't want to do all this. And
Mm-hmm.
you want out. You want out
Mm-hmm.
before it begins, right? Because he
Yeah.
says he's a lover boy. So
Yeah.
I can see that. Mary says Ron gets it. Lana did that to him with Casey. Fair. Also fair.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that season.
Yeah. Ron wasn't trying to have smoke with Ronnie, and he wasn't that into Harriet to push it. Very fair, guys. I actually absolutely see what you're saying now. Absolutely see what you're saying. So it makes sense to just bow out. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we do see Ronnie and Harriet chat again, and they agree that they're going to try again.
Yay!
And Debu says y'all are going to be mad when Harriet and Ronnie win this thing. No, I won't.
I
Who
won't
told
be
me?
mad. I won't
I
be mad
won't. I'll
because
be happy.
I bought what they were selling. I won't be
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, no. It's just like I said, I wanted Shaq and Tanya to come back in here and fix whatever they got going on, but they're not here. So
I really want to see them because I didn't see their season. So
yeah,
I wanted. I wish
I
they would
wanted
come
them
in.
to come in and I wanted them to fix their shit. So if Ronnie and Harry can fix their shit and take it out, I won't be mad. And KB agrees. I definitely would. Like to me, they're the best couple right now because I
Yeah.
believe them. I believe them their first season. Danita also agrees. I'm here for it. I believed them in their first season. I just didn't think Ronnie was ready. But like a
Mm-hmm.
cancer, when he's ready, he's ready.
Oh yeah.
And he's
Mm-hmm.
ready. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for it. So
Yeah. And then
um
cancer men get ready quick. Like I, not to bring my business in here, but I had dated this cancer man, right? And so then I had broke it off with him. And a year later, he came back in the situation. And when he came back full throttle. He was like, I know what I want. He came back like, I want us to go and make a plan. I want to go look at rings. But by this point, when he was coming back, I was over it. Because once you kind of burn me, I'm kind of like good with it. So, but that's how they do. When they come back and they realize that they come back hard, full throttle. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
that's what they do. And you depending on the person, it might be too late. But
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll see if Harriet can get there. But I would not be mad if they win. Elma gets upset after seeing them. Mind you, she deaded it last night and cries seeing them together. And while I get it, but I also don't get it. So
Babes, babes, it'll be okay.
I get it because I do think it's hard to feel mugged off. But guys, it was a week. Like we're on week 2.
I know,
You
I
guys
know.
you guys were you were together for a week.
And sometimes people cry over losing, not
Yeah,
even over the
that's what
person,
it is.
over being over just over the fact that they weren't chosen. It's not even
Yeah,
about the person. It's
yeah,
about the rejection of it all.
yeah,
And so, you know.
yeah. And it's sad, and she's older, and this is at any age. You get your heart broken. And I will say this, like, I fall in love sometimes really short amount of time, and I just move on. I just, if I know that there's nothing there, that's the one thing about me. I'm really gonna be like, yeah, I know this is not gonna work, so bye. Like, I'm not even going to build myself up to get rejection, because you've already made it very clear that you're not looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
And then I go and I lick my wounds and get my shit together, and then I get myself back out there. It's to get myself back out there that's harder for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah. And so hopefully Elma will do that, but she was very sad. So we have Vegas night in the villa,
Ooh.
and Boots, the makeup, I think it's a makeup company, like
Yeah.
kind of Sephora, comes and gets the girls ready for the night. And Scott again says that he's not into Tina to the boys, and the boys will like, well, let's make this a good night and hold it, and then you talk to her later. Like, don't do this now.
And they promised, they made a pact that they would not let's not gloss over that. They actually made a pact that they were not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we do see that they play a game called Russian roulette.
I made
So
some money off this
romance
game.
roulette. Romance
Huh?
roulette.
Yeah, but it's like Russian roulette. I made some
But
money
it's
off
like
that
Russian roulette. Yeah.
casino. I
And
like
it's
that.
it's on the roulette wheel. So they're playing that. And the first one is for Harriet and Ron to kiss. So they do kiss. Elma's pissed. Nas, who does he fancy? He says he fancies Elma the most. And I'm like, go
Where
away.
did that come from? Now, where did that come from?
Go away, Nas. We don't believe you. Elma, do you think Ronnie is a fraud? She says yes. Montel, who is playing the game? He says Grace. He thinks that she's playing timid. KB points out here, Nas also has a type. I agree.
Absolutely.
She's a lot closer to an Eva than Catherine is. So I feel like that's fair, but also don't start that bullshit. And so then we see Tina. Grace was pissed at Montel saying that
Oh yeah,
she.
because he said the people that you usually go for, they look more like me. Yeah.
But also, he's probably salty because she didn't want him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Did he want her? I don't know.
Mary says Grace is a player. Yes, and I mean, good. Here we is.
She
This
playing
is
the
the game.
game. Mm-hmm.
So, Tina and Scott wasn't here. If Scott wasn't here, who would she want to be with? And she says everybody knows that it's Luca.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it definitely wasn't Nas, right? Because that's the three people she went on a date with: Luca, Nas, and Scott. Okay.
it's Scott. Dares Curtis to kiss Grace. He does. He doesn't rub her up and down. Scott gets dared to kiss Grace, and he goes in and kisses Grace.
And that's what started it. That was the first thing that started it.
That sparked the fire. Because Luca was pissed, and because I think he felt like he went in.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah. And so it was like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. Let's settle down. And then was it Ronnie tells Harriet no, sorry. Kat tells Harriet to tell Ronnie what she said to her, last night. And she's like, what? And she's like, what you said last night. She's like, oh, and Ronnie says, oh, I love her. And
Mhm.
Elma is pissed.
Yes. Yes. If looks could kill. Yes.
Yeah. Casey, who's the fakest person? He says, Ron. Listen, I hate. Listen, we don't need season 9 beef on this show. Can we please? KB says Nas said he smelled the desperation. He was trying to do his extended vacation.
Okay, now explain to me why Casey and Ron were beefing, because I didn't watch season 9.
Oh, so Ron from the start was with the OG girl Lana. And
Okay.
from the start, and that's all he wanted. He didn't want anybody else. Casey comes in, steals Lana. She was upset about it. He was upset that she didn't try, and they were beefing the entire time.
Oh, Lana was upset that Casey stole her, and then
Mm-hmm.
Casey was mad at Lana for not even giving him a chance because she still wanted Ron.
Mm-hmm. And then he was
Oh.
mad at both of them, and then it was just like a whole beef thing. And then he gets with Claudia, and then he plays around with
Who
a
gets
black
with
girl,
Claudia?
and
Casey gets with Claudia?
yeah. And then they sent in another blonde girl, Claudia. She was actually a socialite. Her parents are rich. And then they go to Casa. He plays around with some black girl, but then stays loyal to Claudia. And then, it was a whole thing. He didn't like Claudia. He ends up dumping Claudia, and then it was a whole thing. But yeah,
did Ron and Lana stay together?
they did. They came in second. They came in second.
Okay.
Because what's their name? Kai and Sanam won the game.
Oh, the ones that are getting married now. That had
Yes.
that cute little video. Okay.
Yeah.
Save the date. Okay. So
Yeah.
were Ron and Lana together post? Were they still together post?
I think they
Villa?
lasted about 6 months, maybe. Not as long, because Kai and Sanam are still together. God, what's their name? Tanya and Shaq came in 4th place, maybe, or 3rd place, and they just broke up.
Okay.
And then who was it? Sammy and Tom, I think, was from that season, and either they came in 3rd or 4th place or whatever it was. I forget who came in the last spot, but the only people I know who were together for the longest amount of time was Kai and Sanam and Shaq and Tanya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Danita. Will and Jess. Yes.
Okay.
That was the other couple. So Farmer Will and Jess, I think they came in 5th because she was Australian. And they are still together. Yes, KB, Farmer Will and Jess. She came from Australia, Love Island, came onto the show, coupled up with Will, went straight for him. Nobody believed her. They dumped them. They came off the show, and she moved literally from Australia to his farm, and they are still together. And they came in 5th. Yeah.
Wow.
So that stayed together. Shaq and Tanya, Kai and Sanam, and Farmer Will and Jess, and they are still together. And so is Kai and Sanam. And we are very hopeful for Shaq and Tanya. We're very, very, very hopeful.
Wow. Okay. Came on the farm. Lord. Yeah. That's love.
So Ron had to pick who was the bitchiest person, and he picked, of course, Ekin. Also, fair play to Ron. And then Scott, why did you kiss Grace? And he wouldn't answer it. And then it was like a whole thing that started an entire argument. And Scott and Luca were going back and forth. And Scott is like, why are you being so insecure about this? Blah, blah, blah. And Luca wasn't here for, and Luca says, if you wasn't here, who would you go for? With Grace. And she said, Casey. And I think I saw Scott's face fall a little bit. It seemed like he was disappointed she didn't say him.
Right.
And then Luca kiss who's here for fame, and he kind of refuses to do that, and then he outs that Scott is not feeling Tina.
No, he does kiss Scott on the cheek.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Right. He kissed Scott. That's what started it. It was so much things that happened in that one.
Yes.
And Scott was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, you're not feeling Tina, and so you haven't told her." He's like, "But what? Why would you say that?"
And then the girls are like, "What?" And then Tina's like, and Tina don't even know what's going on. They have to tell her. They're like, Tina, did you hear what they just?
Yep, and that kicked everything off. Yes, Mary and Olivia was there. Menace, the Olivia from this season that got dumped.
Olivia.
Yeah, she was there terrorizing everybody. Tom, Zara, Ron, Shaq and Tom, everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and yes, Ekin was the right answer, Luca. Ekin. It's always been Ekin. So yeah, KB says Luca was channeling his bitches. Yes. Yeah. So yes, she storms off into the makeup room. So we do
with
see
those ugly shorts on and them boots. Her outfit was so
terrible. Not like their so it's an individual vote for your favorite islander here. And then the results would be shown at the end of the week. We're not going to get to the results in this recap, so we're just going to talk about the next episode very quickly because not much happened. It was more just what happened with this game. So we start off where we left off in episode 15. Scott confronts Luca for saying that. Scott admits he wanted to talk to Tina, and the girls tell him, well, you need to talk to Tina now. And so she's pissed after he talks to her. And he's like, I haven't been feeling it. I just wanted to like let us have a good night. And she's like, but I don't understand. Like, we were good. We had a conversation. Why didn't you tell me then? And he was like, I don't know. And she storms off again, crying, goes into the makeup room, and they're like, what happened? She's like, he's not feeling it, and he didn't tell me. And they're trying to comfort her, and Scott goes and tells like almost everybody else, like, why would he say that? Like, we talked as boys. Did he say that because I kissed Grace? It was nothing. And then we do have the rest of the boys were like telling Luca like it was wrong for him to tell her that not only he hurt her, but that like that boy code, he went against boy code with Scott. And Luca's like, I got it, understand. I didn't mean to hurt Tina. So Ronnie does come in and tries to help clean it up. Like, we've seen Ronnie do this. You know, he's going to try to protect his boys, and he's also going to try to
get mad at Ronnie.
He tried. Like, I felt bad because I understood the premise that he was trying to do, but it probably wasn't the right thing to do. And so he goes in and tells Tina that the boys, that Scott did admit to the boys, but it was a boys' conversation, that he wasn't feeling her, but that the boys had said to hold off because they didn't want to mess up your night, and that the conversation could have held because, you know, it's not that he doesn't like you, he just is not there yet. And she's like, well, no, I don't understand. And why is it coming out like this? And look, you know, I have a problem with Luca, but the way it's coming out, I don't like it, and it's not fair to me. And she's continuing crying, and everybody's like, Ron, just go. And so she's like, she just wants everybody to stay out of her business.
And they are in everybody's business. I'm gonna tell you something. They are in everybody's. I
thought season 6 was bad. USA, this is pretty bad.
This is like everybody's in everybody. And Ekin-Su is always the main one. Like, just getting in everybody's business.
Yeah. So we do see Grace confront Luca because she's like, what was that about? What was, like, she's like, I've never seen this side to you. Was this an insecurity? Like, why would you do this? And he's like, I don't know. He just really had no thing there to say to her because he realizes it was wrong. And so she ITMs that she doesn't like seeing this side of him. This is not the person she's been getting to know. We do see Ronnie again. I will say I also appreciated this from Ronnie. Ronnie takes Harriet to the secret garden, and he just is like, I'm gonna take you away from the mess. Like all of this mess, we don't need to be in it. It's about you and me. And again, they confirm that they will try again. Oh, and then she brought up the stuffed animal that they had together.
Yeah.
And then they kiss.
So sweet.
I'm buying what they're selling. I'm buying what they're selling.
Ron was like, let's concentrate on us.
It's a whole villa full of busybodies. Damn. And yes, Big Ronnie in his lover boy phase. So we do see Kaz and Montel chat, and she says he brings out something in her, and they kissed on the beanbags in the middle of the thing. And I was like, enjoy it while it lasts. Y'all are gonna get dumped because it was an individual vote. Nobody gets voted. Like if it was Montel with Kaz, I think they might have gotten saved, but especially after the Scott and Tina thing. But because it was an individual vote, Montel, your ass is going home. Sorry.
Yep.
Enjoy the flight back to Heathrow. So we do see Scott and Casey chat, and he doesn't know what to do. And Casey says, like, just pull Tina and try to like really explain it to her. Which is exactly what he does. And it's kind of the conversation we had about 30 minutes ago. Tells Tina, I'm an overthinker. And he says because he's an overthinker, he realizes he's not getting to the place that he feels like he needs to be getting with her. And it's not because he doesn't like her. It's because of him. He's just trying to figure out how to move forward. And he doesn't want to waste her time. So he was going to talk to her, but also he didn't want to ruin her night. And she's just upset. Like yeah. And she's just upset. She just like, it's ruined. There's nothing like he could do at this point to get it back. She's just not happy. Elma pulls Kaz. She's super pissed at Ronnie and the way he moved. And now this is where I'm like, Elma, I'm sorry, but I can't be on your side.
Right.
You deaded things. You deaded things because you knew that it wasn't like it was, he wanted Harriet. You saw what was happening. And then he was honest with you that he wanted Harriet.
Yeah.
At some point. And so at this point, I get it. Seeing them is hard, but it's been a week, babe. It's been a week. I'm sorry. Lick your wounds. Talk to Kaz. I get it. But throwing them daggers. Yeah. Me and Pinky took her to the secret garden. Like, I can't. So then Harriet sits down with the girls, and this is also a conversation that's going to piss me off. And admits to the girls she's not in love with Ronnie.
I didn't understand. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't understand that because then when she gets confronted about it, she act like she didn't say that. Then when she went over there, she was like to Grace, she was like, who was it? Yeah, Grace. Who was it? No, Ekansu. She was like, oh yeah, I did say it. I did say that. And he was like, that's what I just said that you said. She like, no, but you said it like, but I have love for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I think it's fair to feel like after, because they came out of the villa, what, like July? August?
Yeah. Last week in July, August, or something like that.
I think it's fair to not understand if you are in love with somebody when you've been in a turbulent up and down relationship, but you care for the person. So I think she was saying, no, I care for him. And I could see us. She said that when she came in. No, we definitely could have gone somewhere, but I had to end things because I wasn't seeing from him that he was serious. He was playing around on the outside and talking to other girls. So when you have that up and down, I think it's fair to feel like, I'm not ready to like give my whole emotion of love to you. I'm not there yet. Right. And I can also understand Ronnie realizing, crap, I'm in love with her. Like, she has she ended things, but at the end of the day, she has every quality of a person that I am in love with, right? And so I feel like they're on two different pages, but they care for each other. So I don't feel like the experience that they've had precludes her from not loving him as a person and caring for him, but not also being in love with him, but
No, I
trying to
agree.
work on that to get there.
I agree.
That's what I got from her.
Yeah.
But I can side eyes her, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, can we not do this? Luca thinks Scott is 36 and he should know what he wants, and also fair. But again, we had this conversation. He is an addict. He wants drugs. He wants liquor. He wants whatever addiction that he is. That's what he wants. That's what he had to learn to like put aside. He needs to now learn what that means outside of all of that in a relationship with somebody. So the next day, Scott and Luca talks to the boys separately, and they separately tell them they need to squash things,
Mm-hmm.
and they both agree. Harriet talks to Grace and Kat, and she says she's not going full on with Ronnie. And this is the other thing. Like, I do think that Harriet is protecting her heart. She's not trying to go full throttle with this man. She refuses, and I don't blame her. I just don't. And I think saying I'm in love with you is going full throttle.
Right.
Elma.
I also think though she doesn't have to keep telling them what she gonna do with him. Just be like, we just gonna see where it goes. Like, just let it go. Like everybody's business. Like so much. Like they talk about it constantly. Just let them do what they're gonna do and support them.
Yeah. Just annoying. It's like just leave them be and let them. But of course, we see that they can't leave them be. Ronnie asks her what her feelings are, and she says, "Well, she's not in love with him." And he was like, "Okay, well, no, I understand." Like, but she's like, "But I'm good with us trying to get there and working on us, and I'm excited for this.
Right.
I'm just not gonna go full on." He's like, "No, I get that." Luca apologizes to Tina. She happily forgives him. Luca and Scott chat, and they do squash things. Luca cries. Like, I hate y'all for making me kind of like Luca.
Now, I didn't like him in this aspect because he never really took ownership and he never apologized. Scott did all of the talking, and Luca just sat there and nodded and then started crying when Scott hugged him and stuff. And he was like, we're boys. We can be better than this. You kind of like a little brother to me, and I should just be better. We shouldn't have got here, whatever. And he's just like, mm-hmm. And then he like hugs him and starts crying. But he did not open his mouth to properly communicate. And so you are still the same person that does not know how to resolve conflict. You are still that person.
Yeah.
You just stayed silent so we couldn't, call you a jerk. Like, after we already.
I didn't know if it was about calling him a jerk because I do feel like the tears weren't fake. I do.
No, that's what I'm saying, because you stayed silent and you didn't further put your foot in your mouth. We couldn't call you a jerk.
Right. Because he could have, right? He could have. He could have.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is he still doesn't know how to properly resolve conflict.
At 25 years old, he does it. And what is it? 26 is when your brain is fully formed.
Yeah.
So he's got a bit. But KB agrees with you. She was like all of that. And Danita agrees. Lucas needs some type of therapy. And it's not about him crying. I think it's good that he's emotionally tuned. It's just that he also is not able to verbally express himself. And I kind of also understand why Gemma is not with him. He just does not know how to communicate properly and healthily. Yeah. And he basically is avoidant of any conflict resolution. Yeah. And then it says he has some big feelings and doesn't know how to express them. I agree. So we do see that Nas is telling the guys while they're getting ready for the night that he decides he needs a fresh start. And I was like, what does that mean? You're also getting dumped. Go home. Scott Scott says he also feels a lot of pressure, and I also can see that. You dumped your friend for this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you also took her away from Luca, who, like he said, he thinks of him as a little brother.
Right.
And it's not working. He's not getting there. So I get it. I see it. And yeah, KB says it's not the crying. He also impulsively acts out when he's angry and hurt, which is what I'm saying. He did it a lot with Gemma. We saw it in the villa last time. And I do think that is why she is not with him anymore. And she was 19 when she was with him. And so, yeah, no. And then who else? I forget who it was, but they asked Ronnie if he will. The boys will ask Ronnie if he will win Harriet back, and he says, "Yeah, that's fine." And Harriet tells the girls that she's not closing herself off to other guys.
Right.
And they're all looking at her side-eye. And I'm like, I'm confused. This is Love Island. Why should she be? Because Ronnie is in love with her. And I said this during the entire Serena and Cordell situation, just because that is his feelings and where he is at in this situation. In order for them to work, she needs to be able to work through her own feelings and have her own journey. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Get there.
Let her get there. I know you guys like Ronnie. I know you love him. I know you don't want him to hurt. But also, Ronnie put himself in this place.
Right.
So Scott and Tina chat again about where they are. I didn't write much about this conversation because I want them gone.
Right. And what she says, well, I do remember that she admits that she just felt embarrassed in front of everybody, but she doesn't expect him to fully be there. And if he's okay with just continuing to get to know her, then she's okay with that. And they'll just take it from there.
Yeah. And so that's where they leave off. Mary says, Ronnie and Harriet chat. Again, he says he's never had this feeling like he's felt with her.
Yeah.
And Harriet better make him grovel, says Mary. And then Gabby and Casey chat, and they like where they are. That's all I got from them. I'm also another couple I want gone. Ronnie talks to Ekin and Curtis about Harriet, and they tell him she said that she's not in love with him. And I said they, but it's really Ekin.
Mm-hmm.
Really Ekin. And that she wants to explore other men. So he gets upset and he confronts Harriet because the way Ekin made it seem is like, you're wasting your time. You're going to get hurt. She hates you. Right. She's not anywhere near where you are. She's going to, she basically like she's going to get back at him.
Yeah.
And so he confronts Harriet about what Ekin said. And so they both get up and they go and confront Ekin. This is why I kind of had wanted Ekin to choose Ronnie instead of choosing Curtis, because I knew this Harriet and Ronnie Ekin thing was going to be epic, because Harriet was never going to back down to it Ekin. She could care less. So she said, she comes and she's like, what's he talking about? What did you say? She's like, well, you told me that you're not in love with him. She's like, okay, Ronnie, did I not also tell you that I was not in love with you? And he's like, well, yeah. She's like, so I'm confused. Where like, where have I lied?
Right.
She's like, oh, well, you said you want to get to know other people. She's like, okay. And she's like, but did I say that I'm not into him? And I'm not like in love with him? And she's like, well, yes, that's what you said to me. And she's like, no, like, did I say I hate? She's like, I don't hate him. I don't not want him, but I'm not in love with him. I have love for him. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so she says to Ron, is that not what we've been saying? Is that not what I've been saying to you? What am I doing wrong here? And he's like, no, that is what you've been saying. We're on the same page. So then they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she's not going to. She says, I'm not going to give you everything. And he says, I understand, but also I think Ekin made him think that Harriet was paying the game. She's like, this is
Right.
not a game to me. And she's like, this is not a game to me either. Where did we get that now that this is a game? And so they both get upset at each other. He storms off. He says, this is not a game. And she's like, and so the girls come over and they're like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know what's happening. He thinks that this is a game. And I'm telling him this is not a game for me. And I believe her. I don't think this is a game. But also, I agree with her that she should not be giving him everything. He doesn't deserve it yet.
Exactly.
And anybody in the villa who's telling her that she should give him everything, it's wrong.
Exactly.
Ekin.
Well, that's why they all with these guys now that don't want them, because they don't make them grovel and they don't make them prove it. They just go with the flow of everything.
So that is where we ended episode 15, guys. We're done. Listen,
that's what we ended.
Yes.
He's
outside the villa. Yeah,
okay.
He's outside the villa, and she's chatting to the girls because she doesn't understand what just happened.
Okay.
So yeah, listen, a lot. I will say, I was almost out of the show, and then Harriet and Ronnie brought me back.
Yes,
they did. I believe all of this. I feel all of this. I don't like the pot stirring from Ekin, but it also is not. It's not doing her service, to be honest. Yeah. And she needs to stop doing it and concentrate on her own relationship, because we don't believe her relationship. You want us not to believe
the drama that's brewing in her relationship. That's making me interested too, because I like that she done had it real smooth up to now, and the crack on her face when she saw she was not the favorite. I know we getting ahead of ourselves, but baby,
yeah,
like that. So
she thought she was stirring the pot to get first. She was trying to get Kaz out. Then she was going after Harriet because she thought that she knows that Ronnie and Harriet is a threat to her and Curtis winning this show. And that is why she's doing this. She thought she had an alley-oop. She thought she had something that could be used against her. And then we're going to see in the next 2 episodes, that's not what happened, babe. You screwed yourself, because nobody believes you and Curtis. Nobody is understanding what you're doing with your relationship, and you need to concentrate on that.
Yes, and you're not popular like you thought.
And wait, where did I just move? Yes, she thought she was certainly Miss Popular. Ari, hey Ari agrees.
Hi, Ari.
And KB says, "Ma'am, we, the UK and the US watchers, are tired. We're tired.
We're tired.
We don't believe you. We don't believe you and Curtis." And I think that if she had done things slightly different, her and Curtis might have been a little more believable. Like closing off after day 2. What were we doing, guys?
Right.
What were we doing?
Right.
Like that was. And so then we will see what happens. Like, spoiler alert, like her and Curtis start having like actual foundational cracks, and she should have been concentrating on her and Curtis rather than Kaz, Elma, Ronnie, Harriet.
Right. Right.
Did I miss? Oh, and Olivia, Luca, and Marcel. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's gonna be it for us today. I know it is like 6:08. The Grammys have started a pre-show red carpet. I just want to send a shout out to my girl Serena Page, Janae, who did interviews for the Grammy Awards. So check those out on TikTok. If you go to my Twitter, I've linked some of those interviews on my TikTok. But also I want to shout them out because they are at the Grammys with their boots, Cordell Beckham and Kenny Rodriguez. And they are shining, and we have never seen.
Show the fit. Show the people.
Let me see. I don't know if they've been posted. Let me see if I can show. Oh wait, I'll go to Twitter. Here, this is a good one. Extra just posted them. So yes, they are shining at the Grammys today. I am so I've never been happier that I shipped 2 women from start to finish. and it
Mm-hmm.
actually worked out for me because this was epic. So here we see Serena and Cordell.
Let me tell you
And
something. Cordell can dress his tail off too. Cordell, I like that flower. I like that.
yes, I love that. I love his outfit. I
Yeah.
love how like they aren't matching, but they are like very complimentary. We see like a little bit of black and white in his detailing, and Serena's in a gray black outfit. Serena's outfit is custom apparently, very Grammy. Like it is like netting. Uh, Absolutely love her outfit. The gold and black chain, uh, uh, pendant chain that she's wearing. I love choker. I think it is that. I love that she is absolutely
Mm-hmm.
like she came very Grammy. And Cordell just is like always on his own vibe. Love the suit. And then next up we have Miss Janae Craig and Kenny Rodriguez. And I love
Oh my
Janae's outfit.
gosh.
It looks like a flower. It is
Oh my
custom
goodness.
from Ghana. And Kenny's wearing a nice Grammy level suit. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Because you know Kenny gonna be professional. So this would be he
Yes.
feels like you're supposed to wear to the Grammys. So they are so cute together. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. That
KB says
dress was
Cordell is
beautiful.
stylish. Mary likes Cordell's suit. And Ari says Serena absolutely rocks that alternative side. Absolutely agree. Danita says Serena's dress moves well too. And Cordell matches her fight like always. And that Janae is shining. So yes, they look like a holiday. Bari said they
They
do.
do. They
They
do.
do. I
Oh my
love it.
goodness. Oh
Yes,
my
so
goodness. I'm
never
so
have we had
happy.
this. We've never had this where our islanders have gotten to go to like Hollywood music's biggest night,
Yes.
and just they are just shining. I'm so proud of both of them,
Me
right?
too. Me
And
too.
so all the blogs and everything are sharing them. They are talking about them. I hope they both continue to shine. The fact that they got to Serena interviewed Coco Jones, and Janae interviewed Dochi. The fact that they got to interview them and interview Black women, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful. And Rachel Marie points out here, Black women is my favorite genre, my
Mine too,
absolute
baby.
favorite
Mine too.
rock, absolute favorite genre. And so yes, also head now to CBS, Paramount, wherever you can watch the red carpet for the Grammys, because Miss Taylor Hale, my other fave, who interviewed Shabuzi for on TikTok for Grammys, is co-hosting the red carpet arrivals. So I am so excited.
So
My
excited for our
girls are
girls.
loving it.
So excited for our girls. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes.
Oh, I'm so
Uh,
excited for them.
Miss Tijo, tell the people where they can find you.
Miss T Joy on all social media platforms, including
Yeah,
YouTube, Instagram, Threads, all that good stuff.
yeah, Blue Sky. Um, we're gonna pray Miss T Joy feels better because
Please.
she made it through. She made it
I
through.
do. I
Uh,
do.
and you can follow me on Entertainment in Color, Entertainment in Color Media on Twitter, and Entertainment in Color everywhere else. Yes, we will be back sometime this week. Either I have a feeling we're going to be on Chantel's channel to do The Bachelor, the next episode, the premiere episode of The Bachelor. We will also be back to catch up on the remaining episodes still on the Peacock version of this show, Love Island All-Stars. And we will be back for Traders as well with Janelle Michelle
Mhm.
sometime this week as well. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to make sure you are here when we go live. Because again, life be laughing. Life is
Life is
laughing.
like
Life is laughing. And if you haven't, join my Patreon. I have a Patreon, so head to Patreon, Entertainment in Color. I'm going to start doing some scripted shows, but you definitely want to join before February 14th, because that is where and only where I will be covering Love is Blind in full live reactions, as well as my reviews of Love is Blind season 8, I think it is. So make sure, if you can, join my Patreon. I have 2 levels for that. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody in the chat. We love you guys as
Oh,
always. Hi, Fan. Thanks for
hi,
coming in. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.